The Sun in Virgo opposes Neptune in Pisces on Tuesday, September 19th, urging you to examine your desires and reevaluate what you're striving towards. Some of the themes from late August might come back. We had Mars oppose Neptune at the time, and overall sense of low energy, disillusionment, and a need for something higher and something outside of yourself will likely to show up again. Let's take a closer look and break it down for all 12 signs. My name is Anastasia. I'm a traditional Western astrologer specializing in natal, relationship, and predictive readings. If you'd like to work with me, check out the link down below. You still have a few days to, and that was thunder. You still have a few days to take advantage of my Virgo season special to get 20% off natal and solar return readings. Natal readings are general. They describe your career predisposition, romantic, strengths and weaknesses, your karma, your life purpose, etc. And solar return is more predictive. And if you're born during Virgo season, you get 20% off. Discount codes down below. If you like my channel, don't forget to like or comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And if you feel so inclined, you can also say thank you by buying me a coffee. You can also find my magical selection of candles and oils in the link down below. I'm burning one of them right now to help me with eloquent speech and communication. That is Mercury in Virgo. Really good for those reasons. Highly recommend. So, Mars opposed Neptune on August 22nd. And that energy would have lasted from approximately August 19th until August 25th. How did you feel? Did you run into any roadblocks? Did you feel tired? Did you feel uninspired? Did you have to re-examine some of your drives and desires? Because right now we have a similar energy, right? So this one is exact at 7:17 a.m. Eastern on Tuesday, September 19th. As always, it takes a while for the effects to build. So starting about Saturday, September 16th until Friday, September 22nd, you're likely to feel this energy quite strongly. And it activates the 26th degree, actually 27th degree, but like it happens at 26 degrees Virgo and Pisces. So if you have planets at between 23 and 29 degrees, Pisces, Virgo, Sag, or Gemini, you're likely to feel this energy the most. So the sun in astrology represents the perfect image of something, right? The sun is connected, I describe it as the king. It's the driving force. It's the dream you have. It's the goal you have. It's like, somebody wants to be the best father or just be a parent, right? Like somebody wants to be a movie star. Somebody wants to be a successful business owner. So like that is your perfect image. And then Neptune is ethereal. Neptune is magical and spiritual. And Neptune it's like the ocean. It washes away the loudness of your goals. It sort of makes you question things. It makes you doubt yourself, especially in opposition. Opposition is a more tense aspect. In opposition, they're like standing at odds with one another, and the sun says, this is what I want. And Neptune says, but do you? But is it going to make your soul happy? Is it going to make you feel secure? Or like, is it going to make you feel like you're a part of the collective? Like Neptune is very, very like spiritual and trippy in that way. So feeling on some levels, you can definitely feel like lethargic or low on energy or a little bit discouraged and insecure because some of the things that you thought you wanted do not feel as exciting anymore. So to me, this transit is very much about like a spiritual check that you're going through, right? Are you pursuing things that are helping other people, that are building your soul, that are improving your relationship with the world, that are connecting to you to the universe, right? And if the answer is no, if you've been too greedy, if you've been too caught up in in like getting things just right and getting things the way you want them to, that's where the dissatisfaction and discouragement come in. At this time, you can also deal with literal roadblocks and people or things preventing you from reaching what you want, right? Definitely a sense of like letting go of the old image and embracing perhaps the new idea. I've had Neptune oppose my sun a couple of years ago, and it was definitely the time of like my vitality wasn't as vital. The energy wasn't as strong, right? So it was definitely like, it could be the time, like another thing that comes up here is like your health getting tested, and the sun represents male figures. The sun also represents like the perfect image of like authority, or the perfect image of a father, and the sun in opposition to Neptune can bring a sense of that image being washed away, and a sense of like loss and release when it comes to that perfect idea of something or someone. So it's not the easiest transit, but if you lean into creativity, if you make sure you meditate that day and you do good things for other people, it's a lovely time to volunteer. It's a lovely time to give back, to donate some money, to donate to charity. You know, do a sound bath, go to the ocean, watch out for swimming too far or swimming in like crazy waves, but like spending time near water can be very helpful and very peaceful at this time. So yeah, the big question here is like, are you doing work that is outside, that is beyond your ego needs? Is the work you're pursuing fulfilling? Is it building up other people? Is it helping the world, right? And perhaps some adjustment needs to happen in order to, you know, make it more attuned with the world. So let's take a look at the 12 rising signs. The themes will be somewhat similar to the new moon in Virgo, because the new moon opposed Neptune. So definitely check out that video for more. But here we are going to do like a quicker run. At least that's what I intend to do. It doesn't always work out, but sort of like main keywords, right? So if you are an Aries rising, the sun in your 6th house opposes Neptune in the 12th. And you are literally looking at your everyday work, at your everyday routines, and you're asking whether they serve other people, whether they build you up or they tear you down, right? There might be a sense of like, with the sun in the 6th house and opposite Neptune in the 12th, that the hustle and the bustle and the busyness of your everyday life is not serving you. So I think you're like trying to find a better balance and a better flow between work and between your physical health and your mental health, and between your workload and rest. So needing to like, maybe even like, you know, even feeling like dissatisfied with your progress because you feel like it's just not fulfilling is likely here, and like needing to find better balance. Watch out for being too self-critical of yourself. If you are a Taurus rising, the sun in the 5th house will oppose Neptune in the 11th. And here you're dealing with the sun in the 5th is like the perfect ideal when it comes to being a parent, when it comes to being a romantic partner, and when it comes to being a creative person, an artist, right? Versus Neptune in the 11th, which maybe is the kind of questioning that image and questioning what are you really striving towards, right? Like, are you, is this image too selfish? Is there something you can do differently, right? Like if we're talking about parenthood, right? Let's say Neptune in the 11th can say that, okay, you want to be a parent and there's a lot of children out there who need parents already. So it could create a sense of like disillusionment or disappointment when it comes to parenthood, but also, you know, like also creativity, also love, because 5th house represents multiple things. But the 11th house can suggest solutions that like look outside of yourself. Do not get attached to the perfect image. Try to see things, maybe doing your creative project in a different way. that can be both beneficial to you but also beneficial to the collective is likely here. If you are a Gemini rising, the sun in the 4th house opposes Neptune in the 10th, and you're trying to find balance between your perfect home, your ideal of the home, and your work situation, your work confusion, you know, your sort of maybe the reality of the work, or maybe even needing to sacrifice something when it comes to the career in order to have a better balance at home, right? Like very much needing to kind of figure out how can you have a more spiritual career, and perhaps it means having to sacrifice something in the home, like some kind of, you know, some kind of image, some kind of perfect image of the homemaker or the child or the parent that needs to be examined and that needs to be looked at more carefully and honestly. If you are a Cancer rising, the sun in the 3rd house opposes Neptune in the 9th house, and you might be dealing with the sun in the 3rd, like a perfect kind of ideal of a business person, of a teacher or a student. Maybe there is some kind of skill set that you have in opposition to Neptune in the 9th, confusion connected to larger vision, or it's interesting because the sun in the 3rd is very, very present, very sort of grounded and very immediate, right? And Neptune in the 9th can say, but like, what are you aspiring towards? What's the meaning here? Like, why are you getting so lost in the details if that doesn't even mean anything, right? So it can create a sense of like, you're spinning your wheels and you're doing a lot, but maybe you're feeling dissatisfied, or you may be feeling uncertain about what the larger purpose is. And so like Neptune in the 9th, I think, will urge you to choose pursuits and to organize your day and to communicate with purpose, to communicate with meaning. And in order to do that, you might sort of have to face some harsh truth about education, about your relationships, about the way you communicate. There might be like a sense of like needing to examine the way you organize your everyday life and face some truths about it. But don't get discouraged. Know that this is a temporary transit and the answers will show themselves. If you are a Leo rising, the sun in the 2nd house will oppose Neptune in the 8th. Very similar to what I was talking about at the new moon, in the new moon video, right? The sun in the 2nd is you. Perhaps it's your image as a provider. It's your image as a financially independent person, as like self-reliant, right? Opposite Neptune in the 8th. And here we're looking at your dependencies on other people. We're looking at your contracts with other people. It's like very much needing to balance you and your partnerships, you and your finances and your debts, right? And sort of maybe having to face some harsher truths, or realizing that you cannot be financially independent right now. You really need to, there's more work that's coming, right? There's more conversations, there's more negotiating, there's more saving. So it could feel frustrating because you feel tied to other people. You feel entangled with other people and not completely free. But use this as a motivation to take small steps that can help you get outside of the, entanglement that you don't like. If you are a Virgo rising, the sun in the 1st house opposes Neptune in the 7th, and you're having to make some kind of tough decisions connected to relationships. You're having to look at relationships more clearly. The sun in the 1st could feel like I can solve everything, I can save everyone, in opposition to Neptune in the 7th, saying like, yeah, but you can't maybe save your partner. It's not up to you to save them. It's, something that they have to figure out. Like the partner with Neptune in the 7th house can be a source of confusion. And this aspect can bring a sense of dissatisfaction with your love life potentially, or a need to look at your relationships more honestly, right? And accept the other person for who they are instead of idealizing them. This could be a very eye-opening transit in that regard. If you are a Libra rising, the sun in the 12th house will oppose Neptune in the 6th. And here you're balancing your desire for rest, your desire for like solitude with your workload, and needing to make some sacrifices and compromises, because you cannot have both, right? You cannot simultaneously escape to a tropical island while also kicking butt and producing a ton of screenplays if you're a screenwriter. So you really have to address some confusion in your everyday life. You need to maybe make some compromises. Also make sure that the work that you're doing is serving other people, that you didn't just get, even if you're feeling around this time, if you're feeling sort of frustrated, lost, uncertain, try to focus on serving other people and helping other people, because that is a good way of bringing the two together. Yeah, and feeling like there might be a sense that you had this perfect image of how you want to take care of your mental health, but like the needs of other people, the needs of your job are being too pressing and too overwhelming right now. So needing to have a better balance is important here. If you are a Scorpio rising, the sun in your 11th house opposes Neptune in the 5th, and you're balancing your dreams and your vision and your goals and your relationships with friends with your love life, with your, maybe you're pregnant. I keep saying it for Scorpio risings, but maybe your child needs you. Maybe your creative project needs you, and you may have to say no to something in terms of partying or socializing or being the president of the board somewhere, because there are some other kind of, yes, maybe a little bit ambivalent, but like important topics that demand your attention that Neptune is pointing towards in the 5th house. So needing to balance your outside life with your immediate needs and the needs of your partner or the needs of your child is the theme here. If you are a Sagittarius rising, the sun in your 10th house opposes Neptune in the 4th, and you're facing confusion around home and family. Definitely listen to my new moon in Virgo video, because I touch on this energy since the new moon opposed Neptune. But yeah, like the sun in the 10th opposite Neptune in the 4th. Sun in the 10th is your dreams. It's the vision you have of your career. It's like the perfect version of yourself you want to be in the professional setting. Opposition to Neptune, though, says that it's not likely possible in some way, or it's not possible right now. It might say that there is some kind of work, like home needs or family needs that are more pressing. Or maybe even say that, in order to be a good mom, you cannot be, for example, the traveling businesswoman, right? Like if you want to be with your child, you cannot maybe do something that you otherwise would do. So having to be very clear, very honest, and maybe having to sacrifice something or having to address some past insecurities kind of bubbling up to the surface, having to address self-doubt is likely here. So be kind to yourself. That is one of the most important things with this transit. If you are a Capricorn rising, the sun in the 9th opposes Neptune in the 3rd. And this feels to me like potentially having to make some sacrifices and compromises when it comes to education, writing, traveling matters, publishing matters, legal matters, because once again, sun in the 9th house, ideals, perfect image of your novel, right? Or your role as a teacher, maybe your role as a mentor in somebody's life. Opposition to Neptune in the 3rd suggests some kind of logistical issues, some kind of confusion when it comes to implementing things, maybe delays, maybe also, I said in the beginning of this video, like Neptune wants to be spiritual. Neptune wants to make sure that you're not just doing work that suits you. So there could be an element of like having to compromise and balance things and perhaps agree to something that you wouldn't normally agree because you're trying to have a better flow. If you are an Aquarius rising, the sun in the 8th house opposes Neptune in the 2nd house, and you're dealing with some kind of financial confusion. You're trying to balance. Maybe, the sun in the 8th wants to take out a mortgage and have really low interest, but Neptune in the 2nd is creating a sense of like, you cannot because your credit score doesn't quite fit. Just a sec. So some kind of confusion and some kind of need to balance personal resources with resources that you're trying to get from other people. There might be some kind of contracts you're negotiating, or some kind of, offer you're getting that's not quite perfect and it requires you to compromise. Maybe you get a job offer that is wonderful for the collective and very kind of soul fulfilling, but financially it's not so good. So you may feel like discouraged or disillusioned because of that. But try to focus on like the larger calling, the spiritual purpose behind it all, and be patient with yourself. If you are a Pisces rising, the sun in the 7th house will oppose Neptune in the 1st, and you're similarly to Virgo risings, you're dealing with relationship ideals versus the truth, right? The sun in the 7th maybe wants to be the perfect spouse. Maybe it wants to be the perfect business partner. It wants to, kind of like show up in relationships, or even like spend more time with your partner, or give them, just sort of move the relationship to the next level. But Neptune in the 1st says like, but you first have to figure out some other things. You first have to, get divorced before you can get married, for example, or you have to take care of your health so that you can start dating. So there might be a little bit of like disappointment, disillusionment, frustration connected to the limitations of your physical body or the limitations of your current situation. Maybe, like some kind of uncertainty, but proceed slowly, take good care of yourself, and you will find balance and you will figure things out. That is totally possible. So this is it. Let me know how it resonates in the comments below. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye.